What up, y'all? Sorry I didn't do a video yesterday. But today we're gonna kick off. Oh, we're gonna do my. We're gonna still do my Jet Li review, but I'm gonna probably do that one on Thursday. And this week, instead of doing that Contract Killers movie, I'm gonna do a movie he did. I can't think of the title right at this moment, but it came out in 1982. So I think I'm gonna do that one. And that can be like a good end. So for right now, a good end point for the Jet Li saga I've been kind of doing. But today, another Jackie Chan movie, and then tomorrow we're gonna start our my Tarantino review on with Reservoir Dogs. And like I said, I'm only doing his main movies. Like I'm not. I think I did like I mentioned yesterday. I did another video, but it got fucked up, so I didn't release it. But the video I'm doing now, I'm gonna mention it here. I am gonna start Tarantino movies, but I'm gonna only do his main ones. I'm not doing as much as I love From Dusk Till Dawn, and I do consider that a Tarantino movie. But I'm gonna only do his main ones, not his ones he's co-involved in, like not the ones he's involved with Robert Rodriguez. So not Grindhouse, even though I'll probably at some point do that. Same with From Dusk Till Dawn. I'll do that like on its own. So I want to only do like the main directed Tarantino movies. So starting tomorrow, we're gonna do that with Reservoir Dogs. But today, I am reviewing a fun Jackie Chan film called The Tuxedo, which I'll admit, I only watched this film because at the time I had just watched, because I'm a horror fan, so I had just watched I Know What You Did Last Summer, which had Jennifer Love Hewitt in it, which, I thought, I really started liking her, so I kind of like watched anything she was in. So I watched this movie, and I saw that Jackie Chan was in it, which was perfect. So because I just got into Rush Hour, so I remember watching this first time. This was, I guess, it would have been 2000. Like, I'm thinking like 7 or 8. I think is when I watched this movie. And I remember really liking it, and then I hadn't watched it in several years, so I watched it again today. Man, it's a fun one. It's a really fun one. The dynamic between Jackie and Jennifer is actually really good, and I saw that it got it got negatively reviewed back when it came out, but I had fun with this one. It's like almost like it had it was a spy movie, because the main plot is James Tong, or Jimmy, is a normal taxi driver, but then he drives this one lady who turns out to work for the U.S. government, and he becomes a chauffeur for James Devlin, who's a like a dashing spy, and basically. But it's revealed that he has this tuxedo that's actually like this super advanced tuxedo, and basically he gets taken out in a car bomb, and Jimmy has to play as Clark Devlin. So he has to play as him. Who actually Clark Devlin, played by Jason Isaacs, did a really good job, even though he's more of a minor character. Very likable, Did a good job of playing your traditional, I guess, James Bond light. It's kind of what they were going for, but with the super tuxedo. And then this is where we meet CSA agent Blaine, or Delilah, I think is her actual name. And then they basically have to try to stop the villain. That's basically the plot. It's very simple, but it's a very fun film. The core, and like I said, and I'm gonna say this a lot in a lot of these Jackie Chan reviews, that the stunt work he puts into his movies, even a movie like this isn't like some, crazy like martial arts movie. This is just some fun comedy, buddy. It is in a way, it is like a buddy cop-ish movie. So yeah, but I definitely really liked it. I didn't think this was gonna hold up. I thought like, oh, it's gonna be okay. The Jackie Chan scenes will be good, but this whole movie was fun, man. The villain wasn't great. Like, the villain was very one note, and even his plan is convoluted as fuck for this movie. But that's like probably the only real negative I have is the villain. Aside from that, I really liked it. This was just like at a time when movies could just be fun. You could have a fun movie like this. Keep in mind, this came out in 2002, which, you know, how many heavy hitters that year? You know, you had Attack of the Clones, Spider-Man, the first one, um, fucking, I think the Lord of the Ring, Two Towers, I think, was out at that point too. Like, you had a bunch of heavy hitters in 2002. So it's like crazy that like a movie like this could come out. And it was a fun one, you know. It didn't have to be amazing, but it was just a fun, you know, spy movie. But here we go. So the movie opens up with James. He's hitting on this fancy arts girl, and you know she turns him down because he's kind of poor. Then um, the black dude, I can't think of his name right now, but he's like a friend of his who's like another taxi driver. Um, you might recognize him from 40-Year-Old Virgin. He was kind of cool in it for the little small role he had. You know, Jimmy gets into like into a situation with a guy because like, he opened his car and the guy flew over and he tried to chase him, and the like little stunt work in that scene that Jackie does. So that happens, and then he gets hired by a CSA agent, Agent Stina. She ta- basically tests him and makes him like drive a several amount of blocks while she puts makeup on. Pretty fun little sequence in itself. So he gets her there, and basically he gets the job and becomes Clark Devlin's personal chauffeur. And the scenes with these two, man, were pretty cool. Like that Devlin's a actual nice dude. I thought in the movie, because I thought he's gonna be like because I hadn't watched this movie in years. So I thought like, oh, he's gonna probably be like a douche. No, he's actually pretty nice to him. Like, so, you know, he even like Clark even like kind of teaches him how to like he teaches Jimmy how to be a bit better with women. You know, um, because that's almost like the theme throughout the film in a way too. Because he's trying to get this whole like, and he sees like this suave dude. Like, cause there's a scene where Clark like talks to this girl in the club, and then there's a scene they go to like this party, and then Clark takes Jimmy to Burger King, and they order some burgers, and then a guy plants a bomb on the car, and then the car blows up, and Clark ends up getting in a coma, and Clark basically before he passes out tells Jimmy to find the villain. I'm trying to find the villain's name. Um, um, Find he basically tells him to find like basically be him and put the suit on, and we get like a funny scene of Jimmy putting the suit on, which I actually think is pretty funny. I know it's a little slapsticky, like by today's standards. Like he's putting it on and like he's knocking shit over and destroying shit. And the suit's actually he puts this watch on, and like this suit can make him do like anything. So he gets a call from Delilah, which is Jennifer Love Hewitt's character, and she calls to tell them they're gonna meet because they're gonna do a mission where um so he meets with Delilah, and he basically at like this warehouse, and he wants Jimmy to plant like a homing beacon, like so they can hear in. Then the suit has like this wristwatch which can make him like really like he basically can be good at anything. So while this happens, while she's hearing in, a couple of guys see them. We get like a funny fight scene while they both take him out, and then they manage to escape because before Banning, who's the main villain of the movie, um, he wants to take over. Okay, his plan. I mean, I guess we can get to it now. His main plan. He wants to take over control of the drinking water and basically poisoning it with like these genetically modified insects. It's really bad. I think that's too out there. You should have just kept it simple, like a Bondy kind of thing. Like just have like a bad guy who just wants money or something. Like just keep it simple. Like a bad guy like this, it's also convoluted. Like, 'cause how would that work? But anyway, that's like the only real negative I have of this movie. So after Delilah and Jimmy, who's posing as Devlin, like basically he's posing as Clark. So there's a scene they go to I think Banning's house to find information. They find his underwater lair. But while this is happening, CSA agent, I think Stina, realizes that Jimmy is posing as Clark. So she calls him. Then obviously you're gonna have a scene where they kind of have a falling out. Actually, no, before this happens, sorry. There's another scene where they go, and while Jimmy has a fight with somebody else, she has to fight a dude off. I'll admit, pretty fun scene. And then like there's a funny scene where they go to like an event and James Brown is there, and like the suit is very like, if you touch him he automatically flips you, so he flips James Brown, so he has to play like a James Brown type of singer. And it actually was a funny scene, like all around very funny movie. Like I didn't think it was gonna be that funny to me. Like I thought it was gonna be all right, very slapsticky. Slapstick can be very hit and miss at times. There are times you overdo it, but I think they did a good balance here. So, after Delilah eventually realizes that Jimmy is not Clark, they have like a bit of an argument. But she ends up getting captured. So Jimmy has to go on his own. And she ends up taking the suit, but obviously the bad guy gets the suit, and yeah, so Jimmy has to come on his own. And it turns out that Devlin actually has another suit. Is it a little convenient? Yeah, but it's a comedy. Like this, at the end of the day, this movie is a comedy. Also, this isn't like a strictly spy serious movie like a James Bond. This is like a comedy also. Yeah, it's a bit convenient that he had time to have another suit made, but whatever. I accept it's a comedy. So a lot of times I can accept a bit more. I'm a bit more lenient on like absurd, like convenient shit like that. But so he finds another suit, confronts Banning while trying to save Delilah. They have the big climax fight. He ends up killing Banning when he gets infected by the Queen, Water Strider. His whole plan is convoluted as fuck. That part of it, even for a comedy, like, sorry about that. It's very windy right now. It's very convoluted for a movie like this. It's almost too convoluted. Like, I think this kind of plan would work if your movie was actually trying to be serious. But when you're doing a comedy, no. I think it's a bit out there. Like Austin Powers, which I get was more of a parody movie. This isn't necessarily a parody, but they could have went for a more simple, like, Just he wanted a more he just wanted money or something. I don't know. But Banning ends up getting killed, and then Jimmy gets made into an agent. So Blaine, Jimmy's last, they ask the agency offer him one last request. So they do like this elaborate like, like trying to help him get the girl from earlier, but obviously ends up getting creeped out. Then Jimmy, and then it turns out that she's actually Delilah's actually starting to fall for him. So they kind of tease that they get together and they go for coffee. Fun movie, honestly. The dynamic between Jennifer Love Hewitt and him is really good. You wouldn't think that's another pairing that's like kind of weird, but and Jackie Chan at this time, because how successful Rush Hour was, there were a lot of pair ups. Obviously, the movies I just did, Shanghai Noon and Nights, same thing here. This pretty much is a buddy, not a cop, but like a buddy movie, just with a girl. Pretty interesting, But all around, this is just a fun movie. Like, very simple. I thought the fight scenes were cool. He had some cool action scenes for a movie of this type. Jackie Chan always putting the work in for his stunts is always great. Like, that's the thing. Jackie Chan, that's what makes him great to me, is the work he puts in just doing his stunts. Like, even for like a movie like this, which is just your comedy movie, and it's actually pretty funny. The James Brown part was probably my favorite scene in the whole movie. But the villain was okay. Like, he was fine, but his plan was convoluted as fuck. But other than that, I really enjoyed this movie, so I definitely would recommend it. Just watch for the Jackie Chan parts. It's not for everyone. It's very cheesy. It's very slapsticky too. Like, a lot of slapstick humor. Especially, like, that first, like, 30 minutes to 45 minutes. It is a bit slapsticky, but I don't think they overdo it. But yeah, guys. Tomorrow, I'm going to be reviewing Reservoir Dogs, which I cannot fucking wait for, man. That's going to be a fun one. Because I haven't watched that one in years. That's Tarantino's, like, first big movie. But it's one of his best. And the crazy thing is, there's not a lot of set pieces. So that's going to be one. And then next week will be Pulp. So, but yeah, guys. So that'll be tomorrow. But other than that, fuck Warner Brothers. Fuck Disney. Fuck LaBitch James. Fuck Kevin Smith. Fuck Colin Kaepernick. Fuck Seth Rogen. And fuck the Biden administration. I'd give the Tuxedo like a 7 out of 10 for a comedy. So yeah, I definitely recommend. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Peace.